So this adventure begins as you might expect. Butt naked on a beach. It seems fair, right? What is this? No fall damage? Okay. Ah, come on, animated skins. Who needs these things? Right, just to let you know if you don't already, this is ARK Eternal and it is in single player. Yes, I know. A lot of people on the Discord said that ARK Eternal in single player doesn't work. For what reason? I don't know. They said there were a few minor bugs. So, I don't know what those are, but I guess when we get to that point, we will find a way to work around it, perhaps. Elemental Eternal Stone Pick with no durability. Huh. Okay. So you already know I got busy with those tools. Well, not that kind of busy. I was just cutting down a bunch of trees, destroying a bunch of rocks, and all of these bushes seem to be immortal. If it could only work. Hold on.
I have several questions.
Like, do I need like explosives or something? I swear, like, it's always this map that does this. Yeah, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, sure. After seeing how difficult it was to get rid of one bush, it was time to collect the stuff to build some foundations to prevent all of them from respawning. Because this right here is where I plan to set up shop. Just put one down. Anyway, doesn't matter where. Let me just clear all of this out. Now, if this could only work...
I said, hold up.
Hold on, wait, stop. It would be right around this area somewhere. Or not. It's not working. As you can see, the day is almost over and I'm about 10% done. Upon hacking away at this corpse, I learned that hatchets in this mod are absolutely busted, or as I like to call, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I saw something from the mod and decided to craft it. It seems to be something of the sorts, like a mortar and pestle, except that it insta-spoils meat as well, and also automatically crafts the stuff at a 1-to-1 ratio, which is very, very nice. Not as nice as you subscribing is all I'm saying. And to make myself look just presentable enough to actually be in places, I guess, I crafted a set of desert cloth armor which didn't require anything from the desert at all. It's the morning of day 2 now and I am still going at these bushes. See how easy it, not easy, how much more visible things become when these bushes are not here. Don't know why they had to be so gargantuan though. I gotta say I'm really starting to hate these bushes. Yes, I was using this mod only to increase the harvesting efficiency of, well, myself through upgrading these tools in particular, just so that I won't have to spend 500 years hacking at a rock. And by the middle of the day around that time, I had 2 crossbows fully equipped with regular arrows and eternal trunk arrows in the other. It was time to cause some damage or to start taking damage because, you know, it goes one of those 2 ways. Exploring the wilds a little bit, I found an ice pteranodon, and with the prime meat I got earlier with the hatchet, I started the knocking out process. No, it's gone. Right, so eternal trunk arrows seem to be very good. After knocking out that ice pteranodon, I learned from the stream chat that they are not tameable. So I did all of that for nothing. And since I couldn't find any crystal to make an awesome spyglass, I mostly roamed around the entire day aimlessly trying to find either the crystal or something I could tame without actually getting obliterated. And guess what? I found neither. And it's nighttime again. There's an eternal ghillie suit. Or at least that's what the chat's been telling me. 600 armor. Ha! That's 3000 armor in total. Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah. That should say a lot actually on how hard some of these things hit. And running 2 full days without a single darn team, I started to think all hope was lost. Until I found it. Is it aggressive? I don't know. We're gonna find out in like Less than 10 seconds from now. Elemental. Fire strike. Alright. Don't know how hard that's gonna hit. Oh, yeah. It's down. How is it down? Yeah, it turns out each of these eternal poison arrows, basic eternal poison arrows, can do about 32,000 torpor or more, which is fantastic. And without the awesome Spyglass, obviously, I have no idea what it requires to be tamed. So I'm just here, sitting like a freaking gimp. I just got an Eternal Spyglass for free. Okay. I don't know where I got that from. And more things are dying. This Rex is getting closer. Hold on. It's getting, definitely. It saw me, I'm sure. If it's not me, it's the Bronto. It's over there. So now more things are dying. I'm sure I'm getting those things because something is dying, right? After messing around with the Spyglass for about a solid 15 minutes, I finally found out that it doesn't really work all that well. Because, like, you need to be focused on one specific, like, square nanometer of the creature's body in order for it to actually work. You gotta, like, be looking at one particular pixel or something in order for this to actually work. 50,000 health, 40,000 torpor. Harvest like Eternal Anki, cable crafting, bunch of things showing up there, I can't get to see the rest. And inventory like Elite Oviraptor. Yeah, like I know exactly what that is. Well, I'm guessing the trike is gone. This is a Prime Rex with 500,000 health. Nice. Ah, and the Seeker saw me. What is that jellyfish? And of Prime jellyfish with 500,000 health. Nice. And it looks like it can be out of the water. Even better. Featherlight? I don't know what kind of featherlight that is. Remember that jellyfish I saw earlier? Yeah. Here's what the chat told me about it. Jellyfish can get out of the water and fly to you with laser beams and KO you. Well, that's awesome. That's far. Oh wow. The cycles keep getting further and further away the closer I get to them. Nice. What are you? A fiery featherlight. Me likey. Give me it, I want it. Oh yeah. That was fun. Right then, well, let's not go for the nice featherlight again, ever. Because, yeah. That's what I get for liking featherlights too much, I guess. The chat told me to craft myself a Eternal Trunk Bowler. So I gathered the stuff to do just that. But knowing me, I crafted a whole bunch of it. Not knowing that you actually get an infinite amount of uses. So, yeah. We're still on foot and it's day 3 now. Right, so I started knocking out some trikes here and there. And why normal trikes? Well, it's the only trikes I actually know things about. So yeah, why not start with the things I already know about, right? And then, move on to the things I don't know anything about. Wow, okay, instant team. Let's see if this does anything. Trikes are supposed to be immune to bowlers. Really? Is this poison as well? This is poison as well. Why not? No, 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 you donkey. Absolute buffoon. Look at what you did. Oh, wow. That's some serious healing you got going on there, buddy. After I got the trike, I headed up into the mountain area to find some crystal. But what I found was unwanted attention. This does 800 damage. Wow. That's something. I don't know if this is a normal... That is not a normal wolf. That is not a normal wolf. It has like 30,000 health. Wow. I guess we're gonna be here for some time. Ouch. That was an alpha wolf, okay. Day 4 begins as you might expect. Up in the mountains, without any crystal. Okay. That's an electric shadow main. That is 100% a shadow main. Aha! I found my crystal. Don't destroy the crystal. Now that I have my awesome spyglass, I can see the things and understand what is going on, even if it's just by 1% more of the amount previously. On my way back, I was sure to get that poison pteranodon I knocked out yesterday, because, you know, it's gonna be my first flyer, which means I won't have to be walking anymore, or running, or dying. Will this work? Nice. With almost 40,000 health. Okay, yeah. 50k. Right, so this has more damage. Does it? Oh no. That was fun. I saw a bit of a brawl going on here between the old Allosaurus and some random stego, so I just started launching poison arrows from a distance. Okay, yeah, sure, why not? Well, all I can say about this is that at the end of day 4, I got myself 2 new friends. Well, I mean, that's what we call it nowadays, right? I mean, it has to be something other than what it actually is, right? Okay, cool. And with the new awesome spyglass, I can actually see what this Prime Rex was really about. Oh yeah, I want to see what this featherlight that killed me earlier. I want to see exactly what it is. It's a tribute dino. Elemental, and it's an elemental tier. So, day 5 started with a bit of a conundrum. It seems that this pteranodon can't take any damage from this poison strike, and I never found out why. Do you know why? If you do, be sure to let me know. Then later I got around to crafting the Eternal workbench, where all of the Eternal good stuffs are made. Well, I think. Nice! Then with the random elemental crystals I have collected by doing absolutely nothing and just existing near the creatures that died that granted me them, I crafted a crystal pick. It seems to harvest 4 times the amount, doing 40% more damage. And so, you know, I wanted to test that out. Right. Let me see what this does now. 4 times the resource. Don't blow up.
Oh my God!
What?
I have several questions.
Okay. I saw polymer, just so you know.
I said, hold up.
Yeah, okay. 4 times the resource and other resources as well, apparently. I just got free polymer, okay. Yeah. Oh! My pockets are so full now and heavy. I feel like my pants will just fall down at any point. I know I will need to build a fabricator at some point, you know, for certain things. And I need oil, but this pickaxe doesn't seem to get me any. So you know what that means? It's time for a swim. And in this game, you always swim with the humongous sharks. Yeah, seems about right. Go to sleep. Nice. And now that I have that megalodon asleep, I have a new mission. Never let it wake up. Why do you have to encumber me like this? Well, that's like 60% of my health gone again. Or all. And the best part, I did not get any oil. What's this? Ooh, okay. Now, what was this? Resurrected tier, simple mini-boss. Chance to spawn a random mystical when consuming it. And tameable by shooting it with a resurrected arrow. Obtained from the resurrected god. Well, that guy sounds like a hoot. Watch how I'm gonna get absolutely obliterated to this. Day 6 started with me taming a purple stegosaurus. Probably because the stream chat keep telling me to. Ginger Ninja. Tribute tier only. Can only be knocked out by prime elemental dinos or trunks and above. Immune to all else. Alright. Considering what this pick does when you harvest rocks and trees, I'm surprised to get the normal stuff from this tech parasaur. Randomly collecting crystals again, just like last time, allowed me to get the crystal hatchet, which I'm guessing is gonna have some sort of similar effect, right? Right, now I wanted to see exactly why the stego was so highly anticipated or highly wanted. What?
What?
Well, at least I know now how I can farm a whole bunch of dino blood, and well, a bunch of all other things that you're seeing there. I spotted an elemental raptor lurking nearby, and well, you know, it's a new mod. Let me try anything I could find my hands on. Right, and it has a ranged attack, I'm pretty sure, so. Why is it seeing it? Yeah, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, sure. Yeah. Balanced torpor dealingness. And all of the raw prime meat is not here with me. Nice. Sure, why not? So this night I decided to just chill out here on the heights, and I heard something. What is that? Like super nice. Wow. Wow! I didn't hear that until they got so close. Wow. What are those things? It's a tribute dino. I did a bunch of nothing on day 7, but one thing I did do was get myself the Eternal ghillie suit. Ghillie armor? Same thing. It has a bunch of armor, and that's why I want it. I'm probably still gonna get absolutely obliterated, but you know, this makes me feel like 2% safer. And then I learned that this raptor is a lean, mean torpor machine. Further into the trees I headed, I found a blood pack jug bug. Is there a reason for blood pack jug bugs in this mod? Please let me know. Thank you very much. Ooh-ah! Dropping some meat sacks and getting in the groove. Talking to myself. Always a great sign. It does feel like somebody's listening though. Not sure I dig that. Day 8, the chat started bombarding me about something called the Eternal Glider. So this is what they wanted me to try.
That there.
I swear, if I fly into something and get absolutely obliterated. Really? I see why you wanted me to try it, but... Stop. Now I am in the water with about 1,000 sharks. Great. Right, so after that, what I would like to call the glider fiasco, I turned my attention to some of the jug bugs on the map. Well, mostly because the chat, you know, told me about it like 50,000 times. Fly up with the glider. That's what I tried to do earlier and I ended up in the water. Yeah, in that situation, I think that is what everyone would call a skill issue. Also, since I saw this alpha trike and remembered that this lightning raptor could actually knock out alpha creatures, I decided to go for it. Almost. Oh, not almost. Nice. Let's see if we could tame this. I don't have the berries. Oh, I do. Huh? Now I have an alpha trike with 500,000 health that deals 4k damage. I like that. 3,000 armor says I survived this, right? Dude, don't...
angry, Phil.
I will kill the strike one day.
You serious?
Right, well, there goes that. Soon after that, I had a very interesting encounter. Oh no. Got no idea. Oh no. You swim so fast? Well, that's like... Okay, let's not do that again. Right, so a new day means a new experiment. Or at least a new trial of a previous experiment. Hey, at least I didn't end up at the bottom of the ocean this time. Okay, so maybe a little bit of practice and I can get the hang of this. Well, as long as UT Maskell doesn't end up at the bottom of the ocean again. There's already been enough of that. Okay. Dude, I am not... Yeah, this jellyfish is totally gonna kill me now. Come on, just do it. Right, good. I told you this was going to happen at some point. And, well, that was the some point. Right. That was enlightening. So, glider. Nuh-uh. Later I found an elemental lightning pteranodon. It wasn't the best of levels, but you know, it was a lightning pteranodon. Which means it's gonna have a very shocking effect to it. I think. Now it's got a saddle, and it's time to see what this bad boy could do. So let's just see how good the topo is on this. On this trike, randomly. Just want to see if it's better. So the electric, the lightning dinos are way better torpor dealers than the poison ones. Okay, cool. The chat helped me learn something extremely valuable here in ARK Eternal, and you're seeing it yourself. These guys can fly literally anywhere. That night I was flying around looking for something good to tame, and I saw this freaky looking agent here. I gotta say, he gave me the heebie-jeebies. And now, I can't unsee such an image. Yeah. Well, I saw an elemental fire reaper queen, and, you know, for no reason at all, I decided to tame it, if I could, of course. And because of the god-level torpors that this pteranodon deals, it was easily knocked out and acquired the next morning. I did a bunch of nothing again, but I kept hearing about Ankies, so here we are, getting one. I had an Eternal Alpha Pteranodon. I can't remember when I got it, but the chat told me that I could evolve it. So I did. So now I understand why I was bombarded with Ankylosaurus messages. Well, now we're completely encumbered. Oh yeah, another interesting thing happened on day 11. I crafted the Eternal Industrial Forge because everyone told me to try it. So I did. Realized it was not as fast as I thought it was gonna be, so I destroyed it to craft the Industrial Forge, the S Plus version. Then realized I didn't have enough stuff. So now I was forgeless and metal-less. Thank you very much, chat. That was very nice. You calculated that very well. It turns out it's not better, and then I destroyed it to get the stuff back to craft this one, and now I can't craft this one because I don't have the ingots. And I can't smell the ingots because I destroyed the only forge I had before. So, and I can't even craft... Oh, I could craft this one. Okay, yeah. Okay, crisis averted. Remember I mentioned something about those jug bugs? Yeah, I still haven't found one yet, and this was me still trying to find one. I also found and tamed an Eternal Anki because apparently we could craft certain things in it. In its inventory, that is. What did you think I mean? It wasn't until day 12 when I found my first jug bug, only to realize I can't even tame it because I don't have the stuff required. And in order to craft those Alpha Eternal berries, I needed a bunch of Dino DNA, of which I barely had any. So it was time to start terrorizing the locals, if you know what I mean. One of those freaky Alpha agents snuck up on me the next morning, and it earned a free ticket to Nappy Land. Then I headed over to the snow to get some oil, and this hatchet definitely knows how to handle this job. What? The chat knew that this freaky agent was hurting my eyes, so they told me about something called a TLC potion, which is something that can be used on this freaky looking agent to make it look like the nice agent that we all know and love. Not this vulture looking piece of garbage version of it. Come on now. Why did that even exist? Then it was back to taking down a bunch of random dinos again to get some of those elemental crystals, because I don't have any of the jug bugs that the chat's been telling me about, and those elemental crystal jug bugs don't seem to be spawning on this map. Well, at least not yet. The next day I was crafting up those sweet alpha eternal berries, only if I could actually eat them and see what they can do. And since all of these jug bugs require alpha trunks or above and can't be knocked out by any dinos, I have to spend all of these hard-earned elemental crystals to craft those. At last, a jug bug I can knock out and tame. Seems like a fair oh no. Get down from here. And never wake up, right? Good. Right, so before we were rudely interrupted. Alpha trunks, right? Right, so first thing is... And it doesn't work, of course. And if we do that... Well... It does. Nice. Some serious torpor that is. Uh-huh. At least these arrows deal like significantly more torpor. And by my calculation, I should have infinite DNA now. No? What am I missing here then? So the TLC potion I need to prevent this agent from burning my eyes all the time is a very long shot away. Nice. By that point I won't be able to see anything, so does it really make sense changing it anymore? I then spent the rest of the evening here in this location just gathering a bunch of stuff with this awesome crystal pick. I gotta say, whoever said that this mod worked like cheat codes, yeah, you're definitely right. But even with all the weight I have, getting encumbered was happening way too often. So I reverted to the old-fashioned tool. To increase the DNA gains from the passive production of the jug bug, I headed out to get another one. Because, you know, more DNA means, well, it means something. I'm not sure what it is yet. But when I find out, I'll let you know. Well, after seeing how important the DNA jug bug was, I decided to try to acquire all of the others. But Eternal Berry Prime is not exactly in my league right now. Or more like, I am not in its league. So, the hearts are gonna have to wait for a bit. Prime Blood Jug Bugs required Prime Trunks. Yeah, that seemed fair. Right, so is there a reason why Blood Pack Jug Bugs exist in this mod? Because I never found a use for these. So if you know a reason that these exist, be sure to let me know. After one day, seeing 169 DNA here, that production is definitely good. But of course, if we can unlock tech, you bet your butt I'm gonna put like 100 of those bugs here. You know, because why not? That night I made the crystal and ammo converter, which is supposedly going to convert trunk ammo between each type and to convert all of the different elemental crystals into green ones. The only thing is, I never messed with the configuration for this, so it's gonna take a very long time until I actually change it and make it so that it will happen fast. In the morning I made a chemistry bench to craft a whole bunch of gunpowder to make simple rifle ammo to then make those eternal trunk darts. But first, to do that I needed to speed up the crafting speed of this converter, and you're seeing it right now. Well, since I got triple the amount of green crystals because, you know, all of the others became green, I was able to get a whole bunch of prime darts instead of the alpha ones that I intended. Then I turned my attention to making a bunch of prime eternal berries. And since I forgot to increase the crafting speed of the eternal workbench, I had to wait like about 15 years for it. Oh, remember that megalodon that tried to attack me when I went for the oil earlier? Yeah, this is it right here. Well, you know, I saw something that required Eternal Berry Primes to be teamed, and I have the Eternal Berry Primes and the Prime Trunks to knock it out, so of course I would try it. I mean, come on now, anybody would. And now I have my very own robot trike. Question is, what can it do? How does this hit? God damn.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Okay. Right, so prime jug bug time. There it is. Why do you guys... Oh, come on. Why is a Megatherium aggressive? Oh, okay. That's not a normal Megatherium. You know what they say about a rogue prime Megatherium? It's the perfect test subject for your new team. Oh, come on, what is that? Space Panda Saddle. HOT potion. But what's a space panda? I guess it's a panda in space. I mean, it's the only thing better than a normal panda. Health regen. Just wear flower. If I had only known this before, I would not be tossing away the thousands of rare flowers I've been collecting. And it turns out there are other health regen potions that even have no cooldown. Which means these are going to be absolutely necessary at some point. So the faster I get a bunch of these, the better. Right, so back to that prime blood jug bug. Gotta find a way to get that blood without having to do anything, right? Oh, come on, what is this? Nice. Uh-huh. What is the spectral thing? Not the puppy, the other one. It was just the DOA that killed me, right? Oh, yeah, well, okay. Let me just get away. Trike's probably dead. Yeah, so, the Trike, yeah, it did not live to see another day. So for that I went to get another prime blood jug bug. Yeah, you try saying that fast as I just did. You don't always get it right. It turns out there's element jug bugs in this mod too, so you know what that means? Elemente! That's exactly what it means. Also, of all the things that chat told me, the one thing they should have told me is that killing Onyx spawns dragons at a like 99% chance. Ah! A dragon. It's not gonna de-render, is it? Oh, it did. Nice. That was ruthless. Oh, come on. Ah, it can be knocked out. But how hard does it hit? If I dismount, I'm gonna die, like, immediately. I'm, like, super certain about it. But maybe I could knock it out. I don't know why it can't hit us. I don't know why. Poison dragon spawns from a bat. Really? There's a chance that I could die from this. $25 damage. Okay, I could survive with that. Maybe not. Right. Okay, yeah. Right, well, that's that. Now what?
I don't know.
Where is the Pteranodon? Yeah, it for some reason cannot damage the Pteranodon. I don't know why. Right, time to start this entire process over. Well, everything went right. I got a random poison dragon, but no element bug though. I didn't have enough berries. And also there's a random broodmother there too. So I went home to get the stuff to come back. But then we had a bat of a situation. Huh? There's more dragons. And then most of my morning went behind knocking this guy out because I can't outrun him. Or her. So every bat I kill apparently spawns about 1 billion dragons. Look! Look! Yeah! Oh, the jug bug is awake again. Nice. So first off, I came into this cave because I saw that there were elemental crystal jug bugs in here. But when I got in here, I was dying due to the poisonous gas. So I came back with the gas mask, which is what you're seeing now. And, well, I couldn't tame any of the elemental crystal jug bugs. And I couldn't figure out why for quite some time. It turns out it is untamable because it's spawned inside of a cave. The short version of this day is that I came into this cave to get a jug bug, but couldn't. So with some more prime eternal berries, I tamed up a Dino Heart jug bug. I almost ended as the day ended as I tried to tame Princess Peaches here. I lost my mustache, both my eyebrows, and all the hair on my head. All because I wanted a Fetterlight. Could you blame me? That is kind of a lot. The burn damage is great. Okay, yeah, maybe forget this then. I discovered that there were health potions in this mod earlier, so last night I gathered a whole bunch of rare flowers to craft a whole bunch of those. Because, you know, that way I won't be having to get completely obliterated with burn damage every so often. Then I spent the rest of the day struggling to build a bit of a platform base, as you're seeing me doing here right now. And I gotta say, Ark's snapping points are working perfectly fine. Day 20 started with a bit of a metal run. With a mining drill, of course, because I'm tired of getting over encumbered every 4 seconds. After that, I found myself in a bit of a situation. These dragons still can't damage us, and I don't know why. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 dragons here, and they can't do any damage to us. I still don't know why. This was me back in the cave trying at the elemental crystal jug bugs again. And well, you know, I got the same result. None. And with every failed attempt, rises a new attempt. This time in the form of insta-tame meat. So I started working towards that. Mostly because the chat told me to try that. Right, guess what happens to the first insta-tame meat I craft?
You get nothing!
So you know what that means? Now commencing insta-tame meat 2 trial. And to top it all off, an alpha elemental Tapejara invaded the base and never left. So the next day, naturally, I came back here with an insta-tame meat in my pockets. Guess what? It still did not work, and since the insta-tame meat is supposed to tame any dino, this elemental jug bug is definitely not tameable. And this right here was the definitive proof that it is not tameable. Just, you know, to be absolutely certain. I contemplated doing this for the entirety of day 22, but I decided to go for it. I spawned one in manually with an admin command, to then tame it outside of a cave to see if it actually is tameable. And it was. The only thing is, I'm not sure why its torpor is so much less. That night I learned something very valuable from the stream chat. There's an alpha wyvern saddle in the mod, and it works on everything. So now I can finally use this TLC-fied alpha argent. Yes, I said TLC-fied. It looks a bit wacky though. Probably because it's invisible, but hey, I like it. It kinda reminds me of the first friend I ever had. We won't talk about that. First thing I did on day 23, evolved the prime argent, of course, because, you know, I can actually use it. Now I have a new problem. I need another TLC potion. Then I found another prime argent, so I decided to knock it out in hopes of getting 2 TLC potions soon so that I can evolve both of them in hopes of getting a male and a female, because the agendas can change from TLC evolutions. I decided to test some luck here against the robots. Why was I testing luck? Well, apparently more robots can spawn off of dead ones. Then the chat told me to craft all the summoners, so I did. It is in these summoners where we can summon all of the standard Ark bosses to fight for nice engrams, or all of the Eternal based bosses. And you know, new mods mean curiosity. I saw this only requiring 1000 metal ingots, so I wanted to summon it and see what it was about.
Holy Jesus. What is that?
Yeah, so that did not happen. I ran away, then came back to craft an Evo Compy because they told me to. I found myself here the next day, spending a whole bunch of time for, you know, normal reasons. And I had a bit of a shocking moment. What was that? You know what they say? The extreme voltage I conduct amplifies my resistance to the current circuit. Get it? No? Oh, come on guys, if I have to explain it won't be funny. Perhaps your intellect has impeded you from understanding what I said. Or maybe I need to transform the joke to spark a laugh. No? You still didn't get that? That hurts, you know. Let me guess. You didn't get that either. So, now I have a Ginger Ninja. And I have absolutely no idea what it's for. I came back here to fight some bats, to spawn some dragons, to kill those dragons, to get elemental blood, because this is the only source that I know of, and I learned that I needed 50 in order to evolve a dragon to alpha tier. That night I discovered some random blueprints in my inventory that I can't seem to get rid of, and I also raised the on-death spawn chance for creatures to 45%, you know, for a bit of chaos. Then I got myself a bunch more Evo Compies, an Evo Arca, and an Evo Pegomastax. Ugh. Then I added in the walls for the platform base that I started about 10 days ago. It turns out resurrected creatures are not that difficult when you have a prime agent because of the bleed. Ah! Okay, now that is something I need to run from. It could damage me. I'm not fond of that. Then in the corner of my eye, I saw an Eternal Alpha Wyvern that is probably max level. So I went for that bad boy. Bad girl, actually. That's not how you knock out a Wyvern. And every new team gets its first test run. You know, to see if it survives the first thing it encounters. And from this damage, it seems it's very decent. Me, likey. Also, random jugbugs spawn from random creature deaths, which means I might actually be able to get a few element jugbugs, you know, not where the broodmother was. All thanks to that 40% spawn chance on creature death. I like that. I might actually raise that to 100% eventually. But then, that could be an experience. Hey, I just realized. If the spawn chance is set to 100% on death, you could essentially make an infinite wave survival game out of this Ark Eternal. I gotta try that one day. The next day was all about me and the Wyvern absolutely incinerating everything in sight. Well, almost everything. That way I got all of the levels required to maxify it and then evolve it to Prime. I saw an Eternal Indominus Dodo Rex and I don't know why. Maybe because it's a Dodo Rex, I decided to tame it, of course. Also because Eternal Indominus sounds like a hoot. It's gotta mean something good, right? But then everybody told me it was terrible. So, yeah. And of course 40% spawn chance means an Eternal Indominus Dodo Reaper spawns afterwards. The stream chat was like, definitely get this. So I did. It was requested that I get an Indominus Carno, so here am I, getting it. It took quite a while, but I finally got an Eternal Token Jugbug to spawn off of another Jugbug. So now I have infinite Indominus tokens. So I see why they wanted me to get the Indominus Carno, but I found myself in a completely unexpected situation. We have a bit of a situation. Why do these have like so much more health? How many of them are there? How much of them? The next day I came back over here to get a whole bunch of dragons again, to take those out to get more elemental blood, and got an alpha dragon to show up. So I tamed it and slapped a bunch of prime blood in there to see if I could evolve it, and I could. So now I know to take my elemental dragons, level them up, evolve them to alpha, level that up, and then evolve that to prime. I tried to get the original element jug bug that I tried to get earlier, and this happened. I'm not gonna get knocked out, am I? Topo is already on 6. Yep, dragons. Gotta love that spawn chance. Why does this dragon look different? Cause it's a prime! Yeah, but it's kinda useless though, because, you know, of the ones we could get. Did I just get dismounted? No, I went to sleep. Okay, great. I, after that, discovered that the Prime Wyvern has a few evolutions. But I wanted to be in a position where I can get all of those evolutions to see which ones are the best. And to do that, I needed a breed pair. So the plan was to get this female Prime Wyvern, breed them to get a breed pair of the same level as the one that I have, then start evolving. Because my breeding settings was not normal, I had that breed pair by the next day. Yes, I said not normal. So I started with this evolution first, and ended up with a super speedy unknown lightning wyvern. Then I tried the frost wyvern evolution and got this. Then the eternal ice wyvern evolution. Then the unknown poison wyvern evolution. So with the super speedy unknown lightning wyvern, I decided to take on a dragonfly. Oh. That's great. Just bypass the 3000 armor that I am just casually wearing. Yeah. Seems fair, right? Since I remembered that the evolving dinos keep their levels, I took another Prime Wyvern out to level it up to evolve it into the unknown Fire Wyvern that the chat keep calling Power for some reason. Then I had a run-in with a robot, and I'm gonna let you see how this goes. Go. I'm dead. No. That's the Bionic Giga. Okay. That's the Bionic Giga. Help? I can't do anything. Okay. Hold on. I literally need to keep pressing this button right now. Hold on. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'll figure something out. Yeah, I could teleport. I might need to do that actually. I want to see if I can get out without teleporting first. I won't be able to teleport in time. Will I? Hold on. Nah, I won't be able to. I won't have enough time. How many hits can I take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I could take 5 hits before I die. Hold on. That's literally the only way I was gonna get away from that. Look at the damage! Look at the damage. Right, now imagine me going ahead later on to increase the spawn chance for that. Now I have the unknown Fire Wyvern. Supposedly is powerful. And it turns out that it deals the same damage that the fully leveled unknown Lightning Wyvern deals, which means this guy is definitely promising. And we decided to name this Pixeltron. I don't know why, I didn't come up with it. And naturally, day 33 was all about Pixeltron, of course, and the beefy damage he can do. Come on, Prime Dragon, spawn something. Spectral Dragon. Well, that definitely spawned from the dragon. Right, so let's try this dragon now. Yep, that's where it spawned from. So I decided to knock out and tame one of these Indominus broodmothers. Maybe, you know, they might actually be good, I don't know. One day I'll find out. So with all the health that Pixeltron has, as well as its damage, I think it was time to try my hand at one of these harbingers of possibly doom. And I could survive the damage, it's easy to tank, but the health and that damage reduction, ooh, that timer might actually run out on me. So that fight continued no longer. Since I got out of render, it despawned, so I took on a resurrected Rex and spawned a mystical Bigfoot after it died. And obviously, because that was not gonna be done in that 30-minute time, I just headed back to base and called it a day. Because after seeing the health these bosses have, if these are even bosses, I need some harder hitters. A very startling realization I came to on day 35 is that I had absolutely no metal. So I was here all day long. I also encountered a polar dragon in the redwoods. Never saw those guys here. It probably has to do with some sort of global warming, I guess. And also a mountain dragon. And to my surprise, it was on a mountain. Then I started working on a long-term storage solution for all the random junk I've been collecting. And it came in the form of dedicated storages. Eternal dedicated storages. Here is what my storage solution looked like. Yeah, just a bunch of boxes stashed in a room. You know, usual stuff. The next day I had a bit of a mission. I wanted to get an even beefier, more damaging unknown fire wyvern, but to do that I need stronger prime wyverns. So I went out absolutely obliterating everything in sight in hopes of getting wyverns to spawn. And the day went entirely as expected. I got not a single darn wyvern. Nice. I just kept getting a bunch of random annoying, extremely annoying manas. And of course, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna get out of here. Then I took on some bats to get random dragons to show up so that I can knock them out and tame them so that I could level them up, then evolve them, and do that repeatedly to get the best possible dragons. So the next day was all about leveling some of the dragons. And in absolutely obliterating everything in sight, I spawned a random turkey. You know how much I like turkeys. Not ones with 200 million health though. So a thing about ARK Eternal. The max wild dino level should be level 600. And up to this moment, I was playing it with level 150 as the max level. Yeah, so now we're playing it on recommended mode and not expert mode. Then I went for this Princess Peaches. Not sure how it got that name. It seems to be a tribute dino. So because of that level, it became mine. The slaying continued on as we tried to level the dragon. It's taking so darn long. And we ran into an Indominus dragon. You know what that means, right? It's an in my hands dragon. Right, so look at this, right? Since that Megalodon wanted to make a spectacle of itself, here's what we're gonna do. Oh, it's dead. Never mind. And naturally, I evolved the dragon into a prime with a base level of over 1000. Now that is nice. Well, let's be honest. I was excited about the dragon, but now I'm disappointed. I expected better than this. I wanted to summon a mystical from the summoner, but I didn't have the artifact to do it. The chat told me that if I take out resurrected creatures, a random mystical might spawn. So that is what I did. Oh no. What? Oh, hello, dead. You're so not joking. Hold on. Hold on. Only thanks to this water mechanic we could actually get out of this. Okay. And then I had a run-in with some prime diving wyverns. Wait, one is a poison? That's gonna kill... Yeah. Of course. Okay, so now I need to carry a gas mask with me at all times. Got it. And that night I evolved the prime dragon to infernal tier. The next day was a bit of a fun one, quite empty actually. But the fun was, I fought some wyverns, which then spawned a resurrected wyvern. I took that out, and then I got a spectral resurrected wyvern, which was something because I couldn't even do damage to it. I had to burn it all the way down to no HP. Then I took out the spectral wyvern, and then this big boy showed up. And while I could have survived its attacks, I wasn't even putting a scratch on it. So I just got myself out of there. I went back to the boss summoners to summon in a Evo Fly Archer and an Evo Pego Mastax. Ugh. Come on, man, that could have been literally anything else. I saw Prime Therizino sometime after, and everyone told me to get it. So I get it. Also, this compy has 2 million health, and I don't know why, but its damage is completely disappointing. So this is the only time you'll ever see him, or her, or it. Because this mod is still entirely new to me, I spent all of day 43 thinking about what to do next. I was here at the base all day long. I saw this thing and everyone told me to make its face unrecognizable. But when I was about to do that, I saw something else. Wait! And then everyone told me to run away. So I did. Stay away from that walking nuke. Got it. I guess I will bask in the heat of the explosions. Well, hopefully from a safe distance. Don't want to get my eyebrows singed off. Remember what I said about resurrected creatures? Yeah, random mysticals. That's what I said. Come on, man. 200 million health every single time. Back in the forest again, causing some mayhem. Saw some gigas and decided to take them out in hopes of getting stronger gigas to show up. We got an alpha giga to show up, so it was knocked out and acquired. And well, from the damage I'm seeing here, it is 100% better than the wyvern. Yes, it's better than the wyvern. Surprisingly. And it's just an alpha. Only if I had gotten a prime. That night I saw a prime Indominus Rex. Not the best level, but good enough. Good enough to be getted. And he seems to be about 20% better than the Giga. But the Prime Giga, if I had one, was definitely gonna be better than this. Okay, so the Alpha Giga is better than I thought. It has a second attack that deals almost triple the damage. Imagine if this guy could get evolved. I was starting to think that there was no hope after spending all this time for a good dino. But then this griffin came along and observe. Taking this griffin out resulted in the spawning of a specific dino in particular. Yes, I said specific in particular. You can't get more specific than that. And this guy, this guy hits. Oh, he hits. She hits. I mean, it's a tribute dino, and I really was, for the longest time, trying to stay away from taming tribute dinos. But it seems like I literally can't do anything. It feels like I'm hard stuck in rookie tier right now. So if this really is the only way forward that I could see right now, then I'm gonna go for it. Of course, its infinite amount of torpor means that one day was not enough to knock it out. Yes, I'm totally implying that I can deal infinite torpor in some finite amount of time. We won't talk about how. So, this damage speaks for itself. So I decided to toss it against things that can be summoned from the boss summoning shrine. God damn. Right, so. Wow. That's a breath. What about X?
that's a lot of damage!
Well, mystical Bigfoot. Okay, yeah, sure. Let's go. Why not? Get a free mystical. That's good. God damn. Oh no. So before I took on any of those phantasmals and all the good stuffs, I wanted to take on all of the other harbingers first. So that's what I'm here today to do. God damn. God damn. What's this? Oh, this is a tier 1 boss. Okay, I'm surprised that did so much damage. I guess fighters from range is the way to go. Also, a quick question. Why is there a random anti-silver knight here? Why are things literally spawning on my face? This is an anti-silver knight.
What is that?
After defeating the bionic magma saw, a fire robot magma saw with infinite health showed up, so I decided to try to get it. And to get it is exactly what I did. And with no levels, this lava lizard deals mega damage, which means me likey. Day 49 was all about fixing that failed experiment back in the day, otherwise known as the goblin situation. And with this, I'm pretty sure I qualify as green. God damn it. Well, that was fun until that happened. Then I continued the onslaught on those harbingers I mentioned earlier. And taking on this big dude spawned in this bigger dude. And taking this on allowed me to get some tech unlocks, which is really nice. Now I can finally start cloning my stuffs. And other things. And from that I got an Eternal Tech Rifle. But I gotta say, I really hope for better than this. Ah, come on, I literally turned off all of the screen shake. Why does it still have... Oh no. Ouch. I also ended up getting a bunch of random colored beetles that produce different groups of resources if I sacrifice some kibble, which I probably wouldn't do. And naturally I would spend all of today for some technological upgrades. Yeah, that's what I mean. Technological. Yeah, that.
I have several questions.
Also, a quick question for you. What do you think of this inventory here? I know, right? The stream's been going crazy all over it, telling me that I need to fix it. I think it looks just fine. Then I evolved the Prime Theory clone into a harvesting theory. And this guy apparently is the king of harvesting. Maybe one day I'll see exactly why the chat told me to get it. The next day was all about that power. So that's full power harvesting. Oh no, I gotta find a tree because... Wait. Wow. Goddamn. Uh-huh. So that's what they told me to get it for. I then fought the last of the harbingers, which of course spawned a mystical rhino because of the very high on death spawn chance now, which of course spawned a bionic magma saw afterwards. Knowing that this could burn me to death as a rider, I decided not to fight this one and go for a space panda next. It is the only thing better than the normal kind of pandas. The only problem is this guy tends to float away most of the time. Then I hatched a really good idea when I came back to take all of those jug bugs I've acquired and clone them a bunch of times and then put them right back in the terminal so that we will multiply our gains. Huh, I guess 1 does equal to infinity. Yeah, that's the mathematical phenomenon that's been baffling me ever since first grade, which could have been a whole bunch of centuries ago. I can't even remember at this point. But hey, I found a solution, and guess what it was? It was ARK. That night we had a bit of a situation. Some might call it a nightmare. I can't call it that. I have to call it a real mare because I was actually awake for it. I went out to test out Space Boy here and took out this Spectral Rex. And we had a bit of a situation after that. Oh no.
I said, hold up.
Why in the base? See why? I clone everything. Are you joking? Well, this is awesome. Ah, darn it. Let's pick everybody up. I barely do any damage to it. At least it doesn't damage the structures. Which brings us to the next day where I'm flying back to my base from some unknown distance away. Then I brought the stuff over to the summoners to start summoning some mysticals to take them out. For real this time, to get the goodies that they may have. Wow. Okay. Well, we have clones, don't we? So we can try this. Well, it's doing damage. I don't know what's going on with it. Big frames? It's the numbers. It's the numbers. Uh-huh. And it's gone. God damn. What is this? Another one spawned from it. No, that's tameable. It's tameable. It's tameable. It's tameable. Well, there goes that idea. I got an armored Darkstar to show up after that fiasco, so I took it on, as well as that bionic Giga. It's time we meet after that situation back in the day. Uh-huh. Question is, what's gonna happen with this now? A Terra Nova showed up. That's what happened. I eventually got another bionic magma sword to spawn after more mystical demolition, so I decided to fight it this time. Of course, because I can get burned off of the griffin, I have to stay high away from it. I decided to summon in a few more bionic gigas because I noticed that taking one out gives like 12 artifacts. The only thing is I need to go back to base every single time because I can't get the 12 artifacts again if I already have them. Taking on enough bionic gigas eventually spawned a phantasmal broodmother, which I already fought before. I decided to take it on because I know I could beat it, and something interesting spawned. What is that? 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 What is that?
I don't know.
I did a bunch of nothing at the base again on day 54, except hatching the greatest of ideas of adding some storage solutions. And by storage solutions, I mean just two vaults. Vaults because I needed to store those artifacts. And since I always wanted to take on a mystical or some kind of boss without using any of these tribute dinos, and the wyverns were the best I had, and the unknown fire wyverns were breedable, I decided to use this thing here to generate some mutations in the melee department to attempt to take down a mystical in some reasonably finite amount of time without having to use a tribute dino. Of course, it was all about breeding, and therefore this is how most of the day looked like. So there's nothing else that really went on today, aside from it looking like this, of course, and that's mostly because I was playing a game on my phone while I was waiting. In the end, this is what the Fire Wyvern looked like. Look at that beefy melee! At some point the next day, I tamed a random robot griffin and leveled it up in hopes it would be nice. I was disappointed. And don't even get me started on this phoenix. It was even worse. Oh, instant tamed. The next day I went on a bit of a massacre, knowing that this mod spawns other creatures on the deaths of others. I hoped to find something really big, beefy, and even, hopefully, more damaging than this Fire Wyvern. I found nothing except some gigas, but never a prime one. I wonder what's the reason for that. Pixeltron Prime and I found ourselves in the crosshairs of a rabid death room called Graboid. I'm just glad neither of us were infected. And then to test the Wyvern against the Bionic Giga as well. Of course, the non-hard one, or God version if there is one of those. But, you know, I gotta say, if it took some actual finite amount of time that was reasonable, I would have celebrated. But something spectacular really did happen with this particular Bionic Giga. Right before it died, it morphed into a hard version. I gotta say, that was really fun. I wasted this entire day behind this guy for literally nothing. I gotta say, wasting an entire day for nothing does feel really nice. Someone told me to summon in and tame a bacon overlord. Tasty.
Oh yes.
Well, I saw why. Well, I mean, we have a guy who can cause some serious explosions and extreme deforestation, so that's a plus. And for the record, yes, Space Panda does put up a better fight against the Bionic Giga. So I decided to take on this mystical armored Giga with the Wyvern, as I said I was going to at some point, and this is it. The only problem is that 25 seconds at 5% health if I am not very fast, very damaging, very good. You know what that means? We might have a skill issue on our hands. $7.9 million. Right, so here, from here. What's funny, the hard version might still spawn after this. Yep, hard version still spawns. But hey, Pixeltron Prime can take out a mystical Giga. Today was the day I finally finished the evolution chain for the Evo Compy, I think it was. And I now have myself a Dark Star. And I gotta say, it's mean and lean. But it's not green as a bean. And if you don't know what I mean, just observe this fight. Noticing how long it's taking? Yeah, a team that I got in the wild without having to spend half of a life evolving does 10 times better than this. And if that's not enough to convince you that this guy is more of a tank than a damage dealer, well, maybe this one will tell you. I also learned something much later in this run. If you ever see a Prome's treasure turkey, ignore its existence now and forever. Its entire existence is a lie. I wasted the next 2 days behind these existentially terrible ancient creatures. Yeah, it's not a regret, it was a disappointment. So I will save you that trouble. And then late into day 64 is when I decided to try to take on the mystical Pteranodon on hard mode. Because why not? This guy is supposedly good, right? Yeah, well this says otherwise. And that's how I learned that the mystical Pteranodon on hard is the only mystical I'll ever need to fight for all of the essences. So maybe a whole bunch of Dark Stars would be better? It seems to be. It still doesn't change the fact that one of them is not that good though. Taking on more random bosses, I eventually got a hard Bionic Magmasaur, and however you say this guy's name here. I of course want to stay away from that Magmasaur because it's hard mode, which means it's gonna take 500 years to defeat. Of course, a high on death spawn chance means a phantasmal Manticore is gonna spawn afterwards. And I unlocked some more cheeky techagrams. It then spawned a phantasmal broodmother, which of course spawned, naturally, another manticore. So we're in an infinite chain of bosses. Is that what's going on here? I also used the unknown poison wyvern to knock this guy out since he keeps invading my space, if you know what I mean. We became best friends after that. Funny how that works. Then naturally I went out to test him out. I have no idea what just happened. More manticores again. Oh yes. And while I was casually trying to spawn a few more bosses... What is this? And then the rest of the day was another chain reaction of bosses. You all know how that goes. And then someone told me to start taking on random bacon overlords in hopes of spawning a few bigger boys. So I did. And now I have this guy here. And now that I have this guy here, everybody who told me to keep taking on random bacon overlords to get random big boys to show up are nowhere to be found or seen. And I'm here, alone, with this guy. Yeah, thank you for that. And to make matters worse, it's underenderable and unspawnable. So, nice. Since he seemed very docile, calm, and ignoring my existence entirely, I decided to ignore his as well, and went on to spawn a bunch more overlords. What is this? Oh no.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
What is this? Yeah, and the only way I was able to get out of this terrible terror was because I got stuck in a corner, so I could teleport out. So I went back with Silver Knight to try a thing. And this abomination of a situation went on for so long that I somehow ended up in the water. And is the only way I was actually able to get out of this mess. Yeah, that is my day for ya. Now I should probably tell you that that Bacon Overlord Beefy Boy is like 10 meters away from the base, but is out of render, so my base is no longer a place I can go back to. So you know what I did? I came back here to the boss summoner to summon more Bacon Overlords. And guess what happened? And he's here again. Okay, so let's not do that again. Also, I don't think it can despawn. So with 2 Bacon Overlords within render of the base, if I am at the base, I came over to the Chalk Hills to hopefully not do the same thing again. So then on day 68, I needed a bunch of artifacts and I can't really stay at my base for more than 10 seconds, so I had to farm up a bunch of Bionic Gigas. Then I heard that there was a teamable Bionic Giga on the map. So of course, naturally, I would go for that, right? Oh, okay. Okay, what is that? What is that? What is an Ultima Dragon? I kind of want to get that. Well, I hit it. What is that? Well, I got to hit it once. Now I don't know what is going on. It's down. That's good. That's good. I kind of just need all this. Okay, wait, stop. Wait. What is going on here? Why is there 2? I'm suffocating. We can never let this wake up. Since it wanted to butt in. So harvestable defense. So of course I went back to get my wyvern and I saw a beacon overlord griffin. Someone told me about this. Then I got the dragon and the bionic giga. Happy days. Nice. Then I started cooking this bacon.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Mmm, tasty.
Oh, yes.
And just like that, I got myself some bacon. In the form of a griffin, of course. It's the best kind after all. Flying bacon is best bacon, aside from roast bacon. Hey, that's quite a line. Be sure to write that down in the comments if you saw this. And also to confuse most of the people who most likely skipped this. Shame on them. Also, do you see why I can't really be at my base for too long? Yeah. We'll have a unwelcome visitor. Bacon is moving, be careful. I did not notice him at all, and he is, yes, getting closer to the base. It doesn't look like he could move past that point apparently. Which, you know, could be a good thing. Right, so obviously this dragon has some serious deforestation power. But when it comes to damage, not so much it seems. Or maybe I was wrong. Then I learned something more frightening. Bacon boy over there can get closer. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, you know. It's definitely going to... It's definitely going towards the base. That's nice. Remember that second bacon boy? Yeah. So I tried to fight him while being in the air, of course, and at a very great distance. All that ended up doing was getting him in the water and closer to the base right next to the other bacon boy. Now I have two of them next to the base. And naturally, you know what I did? I went to spawn another one by taking out some more overlords, and now there's 3 of them near the base. I guess we're fighting it. And naturally, of course, I feel like I'm saying it a little too often here today on day 70. Anyways, this guy ensured all of his minions bashed my face in so hard we ended up in the water next to the other 2 beefy bacon boys. And now all 3 of them are at the base, all in render, minions everywhere, and I in the middle of all of them. Why are there so many minions? I somehow managed to get out of this abomination of a situation. And it turns out the best way to fight these minions is to not fight them at all. As in, be in the water. Which means I need a tech helmet. So it was time to fight some bosses to get a tech helmet. I did not get the helmet yet, but this is what the situation looks like, and I just wanted to brief you all in on it. It looks fun now, doesn't it? So then a boss rush happened until I get that helmet, and now that I have the helmet, it was time for a swim. With our bacon friend here, of course. Swimming with bacon? That's the best kind of swim. Yeah, this is how I'm gonna have to fight this. Like, there's literally no other way. Dude, the damage reduction on this guy... Why does it have to have so much damage reduction?
I don't know.
It wasn't until the end of the next day when I finally took it out and then decided, you know what, let's put some tech shields down here in hopes that might, you know, prevent him from actually hitting us. Maybe frames might actually exist at that point.
Are you serious?
And then I ended up teaming a bacon metal monkey. It's not the best kind of monkey, but it is a monkey. And no, the griffin was better. Way better. Now, to evolve the other Evo Dinos just to see what they are about, I needed a whole bunch of Primordial Boss Essence. And that's what this day was about. And now I have an evolved Darkstar, which, while it was supposed to be on a higher tier than the previous Darkstar I acquired, this guy just does exactly the same thing. Has the same damage, same health, same everything. It was just a bunch of random evolutions, and now we have this guy. And I don't feel like it was worth it. Then I got tired of this cheeky metal platform and these pillars. So I upgraded them to tech. Back to rushing those bosses again. I need a whole bunch of these Pteranodon essences to make all of the other essences to get the summoning reagents to summon the phantasmal bosses to get the primordial boss essence to then be able to evolve the Evil Fly Archer to its final form. Look at how much stuff is here. Dude, what's going on? How many things are here? 2.4 billion HP. Wait, stop.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Why are these things level 24,000? The next day back home, I got a whole bunch of resource shrines from all of those bosses. So I placed them down and never fueled them. They're just there. That was that. And with all the boss essences, it was time to do some evolving. But I didn't get to do anything that day because of where I am and very high spawn chance on death. Things keep showing up at the base and causing all sorts of problems. And now for those evolutions. Seeing as this guy has 2 different evolutions, it was time to get cloning. Whoa! Cloning. Now that belongs in my fun book, right next to that bit about Mary. We won't talk about that. Look, it looks mean. Keen like a bean. But does it hit like a bean? So loud! That must have perforated an eardrum. I mean, it's definitely good for range because none of the creatures I have right now could even reach things that far. So he's good for, you know, this purpose. Sniping things at a distance. But now we get to the point where it's completely and utterly, seemingly useless. My dude here can't even take on mystical pteranodons in any reasonably finite amount of time. So yeah, was it worth it? It might be. Probably not though. Well, back to those bosses again. We gotta get the other evolution now. And if you're wondering why this guy here is because one of the bosses I summoned again was, yes, a Bacon Overlord, and this guy showed up. I was hoping for Armageddon. I get something worse instead. I also got a teamed Terra Nova because one of the bosses from last night was, yes, in fact, a Terra Nova, and a tameable one showed up afterwards, which I didn't even knew about. So thank you, chat, for that. Although this guy isn't really as good as the things I already have, but hey, it's a Terra Nova, whatever that is. Then it was back to more bosses again. Essences? Come on, man, we gotta be getting more essences than this from these bosses. It's just way too many bosses at this point. And then I got the second evolution, which is a wicked Manticore. But is it wicked? I'll tell you what. I learned that this 45k damage you're seeing here from the ground fires do not apply to the boss's damage reduction for at least most of the bosses, as I found out eventually. So this guy, this wicked Manticore, is definitely a wicked boy. Or girl, I'm not really sure. Whichever it is wicked. Me likey. See, look, the hard mode Titan God and we're doing full damage to it. I like doing full damage. Full damage? That belongs in my fun book, right next to that bit about the atom. That night I fought a whole bunch of Bacon Overlords and got an Armageddon to show up. I heard that this thing can be tamed in some way, so I wanted to see how to do it. Or more like, I wanted to get it. The chat said I could use a pickup relic to make Bacon Overlord tiny, teeny tiny, so he can go on my shoulder so that we can burn all the bosses in the area. Or at least just the regular things and Armageddon. So this is what I used to fight it. Or more like just stand there and do nothing until it just de-existified. No tameable ones showed up though, but I can tell you one thing. It definitely does not work on this guy. So I think I divined the perfect method to fight this big annoying Bacon Master dude here. It requires extreme distance, has infinite inconsistency with that burn damage, and takes an indefinite amount of time. But it has 60 frames per second, and I prefer that over no frames per second. Just saying, if this dude, the Manticore that is, the wicked Manticore, if he was anywhere near the level of the Spirit or Chaos Manticore from Primal Fear, oh yeah, Bacon Daddy is definitely gonna be roasted. Absolutely. And eaten, maybe. More Bacon Overlords equals Bacon Nemesis. So, I took out that Bacon Nemesis, and now a teamable one has shown up right next to Armageddon. I also probably should mention that last night there was about 75 Bacon Overlord defeats. So if anybody who has played ARK Eternal defeated so many Bacon Overlords, they know exactly what lies right next to those two creatures you're seeing over there. Oh no. Yep, that's exactly where he is. In the middle of this family meeting, it seems. So, So I tried a new plan to take on one of these Bacon Masters. Yes, I know that's not its name. I'm calling it that because it's easier. And, well, this did not go as I expected, but it did went fairly okay. I got tired of the fight and I just got out because I'm not dealing with all these frames. Or more like all these missing frames. So, yeah. Right, stop, Griffin, stop. What is that? What is that? What is this? God mode Kraken? This guy sounds like a hoot. It turns out the Manticore's AoE ground burn effect thing that doesn't deal reduced damage to damage reduction bosses is doing full damage to Beefy Boy here. And this God mode Kraken was the first God mode kill I have. It's probably the only one I'm ever gonna get. And yes, I did tame this Kraken, and it was absolutely abysmal. The next day I fought this Treasure Turkey, which is a God mode boss, twice, for that good loot. And if I can say something about this Manticore, damn! It turns out, you get absolutely not a darn thing for defeating this God mode creature.
You get nothing!
I'm just a little shook up, that's all that is.
It's a troll. If you ever see it, ignore its existence entirely. It is a troll. 2 Treasure Turkey defeats, and guess what I got? Some hide and raw meat.
I have several questions.
Then I decided that there was nothing better to do than to take on the resurrected Golem God. And this was not fun. Then after that I got suspended like this for the rest of the day and was completely unable to do anything for literally the rest of the day. Like I said, it wasn't fun. And at this point in the fight, the dude just phased right out of existence beneath the map, completely unreachable, yet all of these resurrected creatures still spawns. So guess what? I think I'm done here with this resurrected god forever. I tried to fight it one last time, you know, because of the reasons, and the game became a slideshow. So that was that. We have a bit of a situation going on over there. I think that's the process of being transferred across the realms. Looks quite painful actually. I'm pretty sure he's having a time of his life though. Well, I got another Bacon Armageddon to show up. All I need to do is let this guy literally fade out of existence with this boss fight buff so that we could get a teamable one, except that this is like the umpteenth one and we still never got one. So that's nice. The chat said I should shoot this one to see if it would tame. All he did was get de-existified. Yes, I said that. It's gone. So yes, having this mod drive me insane enough, I just spawned in the one that I would need to shoot the team. Yes, I know, go on, hate, it don't matter. And I had one more arrow, so I shot it. And it worked. Also, the dude apparently wasn't spawning because of a setting that wasn't even on, and I don't even know where to find it. So, yeah. I also did the same thing for Bacon Nemesis because it too wasn't showing up as a tameable one, ever. So yeah, go on, hate, I'm waiting to see it. Now that I have the two Baconizers, when I'm on Nemesis, I can't see anything at all. Like, you're seeing exactly what I was seeing. And I'm still seeing it. The Griffin actually hits harder than that. Why does this have so much health? Bacon Armageddon, on the other hand, now this Chad is a real boss buster. So naturally at the end of this I decided to fight the Resurrected God one more time because, you know, it likes to phase out of the map. And then a Bloodstalker from Crystal Isles or something pulled me off of Armageddon, got me killed, so I was like, nah, I'm not bothering with this anymore. So I got my dude back and then I decided to just fight what is supposedly the final boss of this mod with infinite damage reduction and extreme levels of damage. So that was that. I just wanted to see what this was because I really had enough of this mod. Especially after the absolutely abysmal happenings. Especially in the last, 20 days or so? Yeah. Which now brings us to day 91. Yes, extremely high damage reduction means extremely long battles for extremely no reason. And now that we've taken this out, guess what? There's another evil line to be done to get this as a team. Of course, I wasn't going to fight this 9 more times to get it, which brings us to this. So you need 1 plus 2 plus 5. 8 so far. So 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 10. 18. 18. You need to fight this Dark Hierophant 9 times at least to get this. Wow. Well, if it didn't have all that damage reduction, yeah, sure, I would have done it. And so, yeah, if that didn't have infinite damage reduction like it did, I would have fought it a billion times just to get this. But it did, which means I only fought it once. Yes, I did give myself the rest of Essence to get this, just to pique my curiosity to see how it is. And it's good. It really is. I like it. It might actually be the best creature in ARK Eternal. Maybe. I'm not sure. There's still a bunch of things I haven't seen, and I know that, but I don't want to see it. I've had enough of this mod. Anyways, I hope this video was fun and enjoyable in some way. Maybe my pain was fun. If it was, be sure to let me know. Maybe like, share around, subscribe if you want to stick around to see more, and I will catch you guys in the next one, whenever that's gonna be. And until the next one, go ahead and wreak some havoc like some people. Or be like me and just get some uranium. I wasn't supposed to say that. Anyways, I'm signing off now before anybody else notices.